What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I am Zach Walker, your Texas local lender. Today, we're going to talk about, do I need a home inspection when buying a home in Texas? Stay tuned to the end. I'm going to tell you some of the worst inspection stories I've ever heard. Spoiler alert, they come on new construction homes. Stay tuned. Okay, today we're going to talk about, do I need a home inspection when I'm buying a home in Texas? The answer to that question is always yes, but the reason it's come up more and more recently is because in a competitive market, lots of people are waiving the option period so that their offer becomes more appealing. Now, why would that be more appealing to a seller? Let me ask you a question. If you were going to sell me one of your possessions and I said, hey, I want to see it first. Obviously, that would be normal, right? But what if you knew maybe it had a little something that, a little paint chip or a little nick, or if it was a lawnmower or a weed eater and it didn't start as well in cold as it did in summer, then obviously there's going to be negotiation that follows when I find out that that thing doesn't start very well in cold weather. Because as a buyer, I'm looking for any leverage that I can to negotiate that price down from whatever it is on the contract. With homes, it is no different. So that being said, you absolutely want an inspection. I don't care if you're buying a 50-year-old house or a 5-day-old house. I don't care if you've been involved from day one. If you're doing a new construction with a national company and you've been in the house, you know, the day they poured the slab and you went in and inspected the studs and the framing and the drying, I don't care. You absolutely want an inspection and you're entitled to one. So here's the problem. I've never seen a home inspection come back completely clean. 100% okay, perfect bill of health. Never. Not even new construction homes. Why? Well, people make mistakes. They always make mistakes, whether it's new construction or whether it's an old house. So if you're looking at a house that's pre-existing, that's 10, 20, however many years old, there are certain things that you absolutely need to look for. The health and safety aspects of the house. So you want to look at HVAC, plumbing, foundation, framing in the attic, the roof joist. I mean, all of those things are important to look at because here's what happens. Over time, houses settle, foundations crack. In Texas, for instance, in the summertime, if you don't water your slab, it gets so hot and so dry, the arid ground pulls away from the foundation and allows the foundation to actually start cracking and causing all kinds of issues. And a foundation problem is not a cheap fix. So that's why you need to get a home inspection to make sure that the homeowner is taking care of the property. Did they water all the way around the house? We have a sprinkler system that waters specifically around the slab because in Texas, that's something that we absolutely have to have. The other thing about home inspections, they allow you to test for radon. They allow you to test for lead paint, air quality, all the different things that could become an absolute nightmare to deal with after the fact. If your realtor suggests that you waive the option period, do not do it. That's one man's opinion, but I absolutely would not buy a house that I didn't inspect. Now that being said, how can you use the inspection in this market and not hurt your chances? Well, you can say, hey, we're not gonna negotiate repairs, but we wanna know what we're getting into. So we want a short option period so that we can find out if there's any major health and safety concerns. That's what we did with our home. When we bought it 6 months ago, we looked at the people and said, look, I'm gonna get an inspection done, but I'm not asking for any repairs. The only thing that would negate this deal is if the health and safety aspects of the house were subpar. So what does that mean? If there was a foundation crack or large foundation issues, large plumbing issues, or leaks that allowed moisture to be an issue, those things would have allowed me to negate the contract. But outside of that, I was sticking with the house come heck or high water regardless. So I still made my offer competitive, but I did not waive my inspection. The other side of this is the home inspector matters. You need to know who you're hiring and you need to check their references, check their background, make sure they are someone who knows what they're doing. This will blow your mind. Becoming a home inspector is easier than becoming a real estate agent. And becoming a real estate agent is super easy. Like they literally just have to take a class and then they're a certified home inspector. Lots of people have gotten into the home inspecting business that really have no business being in business. So make sure that you do your homework on the home inspector. Your realtor probably works with tremendous amounts of home inspectors and they should be able to give you a qualified reference. And on that, I would definitely trust them. The home inspector we used exclusively had his real estate license, he was a broker, he was a licensed home builder, and he was a home inspector. So he had literally been on every side of the transaction and knew exactly what we were looking at when we were getting our inspections done. Now in Texas, the crawl space isn't an issue because most houses are built on a slab, but in other parts of the country, crawl spaces are a big deal, and they can be huge problem areas for people if you don't have them properly inspected. I would never settle for a company that used a robot to go into the crawl space, which was something that was happening right at the tail end of my real estate career. Always make sure your inspector is going to get in there and put his eyes on everything. If your inspector's not willing to get on the roof, if your inspector's not really willing to get in the attic, you need a different home inspector. Those people will not do the job well. Now, I told you at the beginning I was going to tell you some crazy stories about home inspections. Let's kick it off with what I would say is one of the worst home inspections I've ever seen. We had a new build, new construction home being built by, and I won't say the name of the builder, but it is a nationwide builder that you know of. And I sent Nathan, my home inspector, into the house. And he found lots of stuff that wasn't done correctly, but the most egregious thing I ever saw, there was an air conditioner vent put into the wall with nothing behind it. It was literally screwed into the sheetrock. There was no hole behind it. There was nothing there. It was a fake grill screwed into the sheetrock. Now this is on a brand new $400,000 house built by a nationwide company that you know of, and there was not even a hole behind the air conditioner vent. Other things we saw on a regular basis, blocking that was entirely too short. Poor concrete pours in terms of the depth of the concrete, the engineering of the concrete, doors not sealed, windows not sealed. So it does not matter whether it's a brand new house or a 10-year-old house, you have to get it inspected. You are crazy to not. Would you go buy a car and not even have any idea if it's ever been in an accident? Well, of course not. Would you go to the grocery store and buy milk without looking at the expiration date? I don't think so. Why in the world would you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on an asset and have no idea what's underneath the hood per se? That's just foolish. I'm curious if any of you have had any kind of home inspection gaffes. Please leave comments below. Let me know what's the worst thing you've ever seen on a home inspection, and let's compare notes. Again, Zach Walker, your Texas local lender. Smash that like button, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. Have a great day.